Okay, well, happy Saturday morning to everyone. I'm headed out for a brief work commute this morning on the Rebel, and then after that I'm going to go to my breakfast meetup, which I haven't done for many weeks. I've just been really clobbered with work and trying to get all my affairs in order so I can take off for my long Cannonball Run trip for the entire month of July on the Super Cub. So I haven't been meeting up with the boys, and they're all asking me, hey man, are you still alive? What's going on? So I'm gonna head into one of my client offices, doctor's office, and they are cutting over from Comcast internet service over to AT&T fiber. So we're hoping that's going to work out okay. Service was dropped off a week ago. It's just been sitting there waiting for the weekend so we can get in there and mess with it and not have some downtime. So I'll reconfigure their firewalls and VPN tunnels and everything else that's associated with those old addresses and swing them over to the new addresses. And hopefully that's the extent of my work today. I've got a lot of prep that I'm doing to get everything ready for the Cannonball. I have route planning that I'm still doing. Not really too overly concerned about the route. I'm just going to use GPS and fall back to paper maps wherever we need to get up there to Maine and then back from Eureka, California. So those routes are just kind of loose. As long as we're covering enough miles, we don't really care how we get up there. Now the route for the official Cannonball Run, that's already prescribed, and we'll be following the GPX tracks that they've laid out so we can hit the waypoints and, you know, the extra points and all that kind of stuff for the event itself. So I've mentioned it a couple times, but I haven't really gotten too deep into it. I'm also trying to put a lot of focus into the Patreon and donation account, stuff like that, because I'll be out and gone for the entire month of July on the road, and my normal content, you know, longer ride vlogs and episodic videos and stuff like that won't be published until probably mid-August. So there'll be about a 6-week hiatus for that kind of material. But while I was out on the trip, I was thinking it might be kind of neat to do some live streams on Instagram or YouTube, and also put out some behind the scenes content for for subscribers, and people can, you know, see what it's like to set up camp and tear down camp and sit on one of these bikes for 14 hours a day, and could be fun. So anyway, I thought I would release some of that behind the scenes content and a few of the members only, or, you know, subscriber only type content for the behind the scenes, you know, and see a little bit more of the inner workings of these crazy trips. And then those will be released, you know, more to mainstream later after I get back, and I can cut up the content a little more and do the episodic type videos. Anyway, it's an idea. If anyone's interested in that, you know, leave me some comments down below. And as always, you know, I don't harp on it much, but always hit the thumbs up, leave comments if you like the video content. It helps YouTube recommend the content more for getting it out there to a wider audience. Get other people into our crazy hobby. It is a very nice morning. I didn't give my normal weather report before I started rolling, but it's pretty nice out here this morning. We're not sure how long that's going to last. So we've been having a lot of rain lately. We got some serious flooding at my house in my neighborhood just a couple of days ago. Welcome to my neighborhood in Katy. We're in a river now. This is more flooding than we had during Harvey. We've got trash cans floating downriver. These people in these small cars are going to get stalled out. It's just a matter of time.
Look at this rolling up over the hood. Wow. This is nuts. And the rain is not letting up. No flash flood warnings, no nothing for my area. There haven't been any warnings at all coming out. Look at this. It's splashing up to the windshield. He's going to suck water in that thing. It's just a matter of time. The truck's doing okay, but it's over his door sills.
And things have calmed down a little now, but we still have river and stream flood advisories all over the place. We've just been getting a ton of rain for about a week straight, and it's not going to stop for another 4 or 5 days apparently. Pretty crazy. But this morning we've got variable clouds, and I think it's about 72 out here. Yeah, speedometer on this thing, or thermometer says 74, so yeah, about 72, 74. It's pretty nice, but we're expecting some pretty strong thunderstorms again this afternoon through tonight. This thing is handling these highway ripples so much better. It's not bottoming out like it used to. I've bumped up my rear preload to 7. I started at 6, I went up to 8. Well, let me rephrase. I started at 3, that's where the bike was delivered. Then I upped it to 6, and it was still bottoming out quite a bit. So I bumped it up to 8, and I felt like that was a little too stiff, and I wasn't really getting full compression on the rear shocks, so then I backed them down to 7. Seems to work pretty well. And then to balance that out, I've upped the front preload on the forks. I want to say, I think I left it at 3/4 turn. I went up to a half, and then I bumped it up a little more, so I'm up about 3/4 turn on that from what the factory setting is. And it's riding well. Oh look, my cruise control thing is screwing up again. Look, I can't turn on my cruise. Oh, that sucks. That's annoying. That's the third time it's done that to me. Yeah, see, I can't turn it on. I'm steady state, and it says nope. Nah, that sucks. I wonder if I change ride modes, if it'll make any difference. No. So this is definitely an ECU glitch where the system won't turn on at 1 gauge. Oh well. I'll have to take it in and have that looked at under warranty, because that's obviously a software bug. When I come up here to a stop on the surface streets, I'll shut it down, just turn off the bike, turn it back on. I bet that problem goes away. That's what's happened the last 2 times. But if I was out on a road trip somewhere in the middle of the highway, that would piss me off. Try to use your cruise and you can't, you got to pull over, turn off the bike. Come on. So the little windscreen is helping with chest pressure, but it's not doing anything at all for my helmet or upper body. I'm still way in the clear up here. But it is helping with chest pressure quite a bit. I mean, normally right now it's 75, 80 miles an hour. I'd really be gripping the bars. You know, you feel like you're getting pushed off of the bike. But it's not so bad now. I feel it on my upper arms, my shoulders, and definitely on the helmet. So I'm still looking for a good screen, you know, something that's probably 4 inches taller than this, maybe 5. Get it, you know, you're down here, my eyes are 5 inches above the camera, but I would say something about nose high on me should work out well. I just don't want a big batwing fairing on this thing. I think they're ugly. Even if it's a big plexi, smoke or clear or whatever, I don't know, just it doesn't blend with the bike. The rear suspension feels so much better now. So much better. I've already passed over 3 or 4 big ripples that would have launched me out of the saddle before. Oh my God, they retimed that light. I was just getting ready to say this light never detects me. Well, I have arrived, so I'm gonna shut the vlog down now. Go in and do this, and then go eat breakfast. I'm getting hungry. So I will catch you all in, I don't know, about 30 minutes, I hope. Okay, well, this took a little longer than I thought because of a software update on the VPN routers. Changed their operation mode, but I sorted out the little problems that I was having and got them talking. So it's about an hour later. It's 9:15 in the morning now, and I'm going to head over to breakfast. It is a good time because I am hungry, man. So, what else is going to go on in the next 2 weeks, man? I've got so much packed into my schedule for sorting out all my work commitments. You know, Murphy's Law, I'm always pushing stuff to the last minute and procrastinator special. I'm shutting down my data center operations and moving all my clients to a new location. So the data center that I've been maintaining for the last, I don't know, 8 years or whatever, got tired of doing that. I'm doing something a little different now. So I've got all the logistics of moving my customers to new servers and locations and transporting their data and doing all that kind of stuff. And that's going to be a mad dash over the next 2 weeks because I want to close out all that stuff before I leave on my trip, because I won't be here to maintain a lot of that stuff in case something goes wrong. So just trying to lighten my load as much as possible. So we've got servers that are being delivered to client sites and things like that to kind of set the stage for all that. And of course I'm running short on time for everything else. And this thing rides so much better now with the suspension turned up a little bit in the back. That was a nice car. I still feel a little bit of imbalance between the front and the rear. It almost hobby horses a little bit, so I need to play with the damping on the front. Whoops, got my signal on. I need to play with the damping on my front shocks just a little bit. Front forks, whatever. Because over some of the bumps I feel a little more delayed dive on the front because I've got the rear preload turned up. So overall, though, that the change going up to number 7 on the rear shocks has done wonders for the feel of the back of this bike. It was far too soft and bottoming out for me at highway speeds. And this is, you know, pretty novice information for suspension tuning. I mean, normally when you get a bike, you gotta set your preloads and everything like that, and your static sag, rider sag, all this kind of stuff for your riding weight. Typically, motorcycle dealers here in the United States do not do that, at least any of the ones that I've dealt with over the last 35, 40 years. They don't fit the bike for the customer, which I think should really be done. And you all can chime in with your comments below on that, whether you think that's a procedure that should be done for a new bike. But I fully believe that it should be, you know, just kind of the the user walkthrough handoff to the customer. I would think that you know, that would be something the dealer really should do, is to kind of show a new owner how a bike works and get it set for their weight and all that. But anyway, the kind of the glaring omission in the case of this Rebel is in the owner's manual. They don't specify how many suspension adjustments are available in those rear shocks. They just say that it was shipped with a number 3. Okay, well, 3 out of how many steps? Because if I had known that there were 20 steps and not just you know, 6 or something like that, then I would have thought, oh, okay, well then fine. Anyway, I'm here. So the boys are out riding my R1 around. I leave this over at my buddy's place, and they've got the keys to it, so I say, yeah, I'll ride it, you know, keep the fluid circulating in it. I need to go over and get the Ducati rolling too. I haven't started that thing up in quite a few weeks. Maybe I'll do that today. We're supposed to get rain, but I'll see. Anyway, I'm gonna go eat breakfast. I'll catch up with you all in a bit. Okay, so I have finished breakfast, and now I'm gonna head over to Bering Hardware and pick up my coffee. I haven't done a coffee run in a couple of months, and I have run out of my good coffee, so it's time to go pick up another 5-pound bag of beans. It'll be my first coffee run on the Rebel. Brought my little Bear Grylls backpack, same one as I used on the Super Cub coffee run. It's folded up under my seat right now. Fits quite nicely in the little under seat compartment. I'm not riding with a backpack or anything today. Didn't need to bring a, oh hey, those are bumps. I didn't need to bring a laptop bag or backpack or anything with me, so I'm just riding light today. I'm still waiting on my rear rack and all the Honda accessories. The rear rack is showing up in a few places because I've seen a couple of reviews on YouTube already, so hopefully that means that we're not far behind here in the continental US. Saw one owner in Hawaii, I think he's got his on the back of his Rebel already, and can't remember where the other guy was. Might have been Canada. So I don't know. Let's see. Once I get a rear rack on this thing, I can put a small tail bag or roll bag of some kind on the back of it and be able to haul some stuff and not be loaded down with a backpack on my shoulders. I really hate backpacks. Cause back problems after a while, and for me it's a lack of fine motor control, you know, because that thing is pulling on you, and it's not really conducive to comfortable or spirited riding anyway, because that kind of slows down your reaction times, and it's just a divided focus, you know, having that thing hanging off the back. I don't like it. Not a fan. Not a fan at all. Hate it. Have I mentioned that I don't like backpacks? Bumpity bumpity bump bump bump. I've gotten a little more accustomed to standing on the Rebel. It's not easy to do because the pegs are not underneath you, under your hips or your butt. So to stand up on it, you kind of have to pull on the bars and hinge yourself upward. It can be done. It's a little kludgy and not quite, I don't know if you want to call it safe, whatever, but you know, because you're pulling on the bars and you can alter your steering angle. So at lower speeds, it's not a big deal. Higher speeds, if you're going highway speeds and you try to do it, might not be the best idea. Bump. Yeah, it's definitely feeling a whole lot better on the back end of this thing now. Weather feels really good right now. It's humid, but the temperature is just fantastic. Rain is going to come rolling in a little while and mess up the day, but it feels pretty good right now. Hey, Minutia, that used to be a Starbucks there. I wonder what this is ever going to become. It used to be a big HEB. It was, I think, Houston's biggest HEB for a long time. They opened that up pretty much when I moved down here to Houston back in late 90s. Okay. We are here at Bering Hardware, and I'm going to pick up the good coffee. Whoa, hey, I'm going to go behind you before you go. Curbside pickup. I'll park over here. Okay, I have arrived. Let's get that backpack out from under the seat. There it is, Bear Grylls. I don't know who actually made that thing. Okay, I don't know how much battery is left in this camera, but we'll just keep on recording. I smell the coffee. Butter pecan. Hey, that's mine. Yes, I'm here to get a 5-pound bag. I like the golden pecan, leaded, and give me a couple pounds of your butter pecan too.
Okay, one of each?
No, just a couple pounds of this and a 5-pound bag of the golden pecan.
Okay, let me go grab it for you.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so purchase complete. Now I've got to shove it in the little backpack here. This is going to be interesting. I got, what was it, 11 pounds last time I did this, right? So this time is only 7 pounds. I got a 5-pound bag and 2 1-pound bags. Let's see how it works. Should be able to shove it all in there without any problem. I've already pre-bagged it for me, so I'll just shove the whole thing in there. So I say. Okay, there's one. And then let's shove the other 2 1-pound bags over that side. There we go. No problem. A whole lot easier than last time I did this with 11 pounds of coffee. Barely shoehorned it in there. Okay then. Coffee in tow. Here we go. And I'll just take the slow road home, go all the way out Westheimer, back to Katy. Really, I like all the stoplights, but yeah, whatever. Yeah, if I didn't have so much planning and prep to do before my big trip, I would love to just go out riding today. Maybe go out for a couple-day moto camp, but I can't. I got to save all that for the big trip because getting short on time now. It's only about 3 weeks before I leave. I need to sit down and play with Garmin Basecamp and load in my routes and start playing with the routing options to include a few of the little waypoints that I want to have along my trip up and back, national parks and scenic byways and stuff like that. So I won't be relying solely on the automatic routing options. I'd like to include a few manual stops along the way just to get the most out of the trip that I can. So I got to play with Basecamp. I'm not really good with Basecamp yet. I played with it a few times. I used it for a few of my routes. Get out of the way here. Let that guy go through. I'll go around this way. So I've used Basecamp a few times, but I don't know, I didn't really like the interface of it. I'm sure I'll get more proficient with it as I play with it, but the interface just seems pretty kludgy. I don't know. It took him a long time to get through that intersection. Yeah, for a few of my longer adventure camping trips and road trips that I've done, I got a subscription to Rally Navigator, which is a really neat routing tool. You can throw GPX tracks into it or whatever you want, and it will generate turn-by-turn printed directions for you, and it's got a lot of configurable options. You can do a lot of stuff with it. So I printed essentially roll charts, but on sheet paper instead of a long continuous, you know, thermal feed, ribbon paper, whatever you want to call it. And I use that for my off-road routes, and it does surprisingly well. Really, really good tool. So I may do that for this as well. Print out some... What the fudge are you people doing? I'll probably print that as kind of a backup plan in case GPS goes out or does something funky. I'll have printed routes, at least my waypoints. I don't know if I'll do full turn-by-turn because you end up with a ton of paper. I'll be taking paper maps as well, but I want to refer to those or rely on those just for twisty routing options, in addition to the Garmin's adventurous routing. I've got the Butler maps for most of the areas that I'm going to be traveling, and it gives you the really good, you know, G1 and G2 roads and stuff like that, the excellent roads that have been rated and submitted by other motorcyclists, so that's pretty cool. Come to think of it, I don't believe that I have the Butler maps for the Northeast. I might have to invest in that before I go. I've got a couple of weeks to sort that out. I've got all the stuff through the central United States and even out west and northwest, but I don't think I've got the stuff for the Northeast. I'll have to look at that. I need to do my Dragy GPS testing here. I've got the little Dragy up here, performance meter, got the app on the phone. Haven't had the time to go out and play with that yet. I've done it in the car a couple times, played with it, but I haven't done it on the bike yet. It would be nice if it would just do constant data recording and then you could pick kind of your best runs. I don't think it does that. I think you have to start it and stop it each time, because the couple times I've messed with it, it just did one run and that was it. Just kind of hoping I could just turn it on and let it play. That's a pretty lazy stroll. In the middle of traffic, just daring people to hit him. Walking through the middle of the intersection, no less, not even on the crosswalks. Okie dokie. Yep. Darwin candidate. So you can see all this water out here. This is part of the water control system for Houston, the Barker and Addicks reservoirs. This is the Barker side of things. It's a low-lying area, and all of the storm drains and everything kind of feed this. So when we get a lot of rain, it pools up out here, and a lot of these roads get shut down. You can see how deep the water's gotten out in the fields. I didn't come out here a couple days ago when it was flooding real bad in my neighborhood, but I'll bet these roads were underwater. There's just nowhere for the water to go until it... Yeah, they've had the road closure signs out here, yeah, so they had it shut down. That's a lower spot right up to the edge of one of the big berms that contains the water. But this road fills up quite often. I've been out here a few times when it was just a river. You couldn't even see the median here in the center. I'm kind of getting used to this new saddle. It's not that bad. When I first sat on it the first day, I thought it might be overly hard or overly firm compared to the original saddle, but this one actually feels pretty good. I don't have the air hawk on here or anything right now. It's just the saddle, and it feels okay. Not disappointed. The only thing I don't like about it is the latch is not very precise as far as in comparison to the other seat. The other seat clicks right on, clicks right off. This one you kind of have to press and wiggle it around a little bit for it to click in, so I think it's just not aligned quite as well with the little hoop that clicks into the latch. Something's different about it. It doesn't fit as easily. But as far as the shape of it, it's got a good, cup or cradle to it. It's not bad. What I might do is stay with this saddle and get one of those perforated covers. It's like a nylon open weave mesh stuff that lets all the water and the air drain through it real easy. So it's not really a cushion as much as it's a cover. I think that might suit this well. I don't know. I may end up just sending one of these seats over to Seat Concepts or Saddlemen and have them make me a custom saddle. The other thing I've thought about doing, I think I mentioned it, is making a Springer seat for this. I think that would be great. As long as it has a comfortable enough base to sit on, because a lot of Springer seats are really super thin. But if it's comfortable enough memory foam and give it, 1.5 inches or so of play to kind of soak up some of the extra bumps, I think that would work out all right. Okay, well, home again. Have done my early work task, I did my breakfast meet, and I did my coffee run. So now it's just prep day, I think, to continue tidying up my work tasks and work commitments and whatnot, and then keep working on my travel itinerary. So let's see what the day holds for me. Catch y'all later.